Hello, class. I am Professor White for your Business 352 Statistics class. I wanted to record a live session to show you guys around the classroom. I have about 5 or 6 topics that I want to hit briefly and in order to try to help students pass this course. Hopefully by now you'll be looking at my desktop. I have about 5 or 6 topics again that I want to share with students to increase success in this classroom. I've noticed from some of the questions that are being posted to me that some of the basic requirements in this class are not being realized, and I wanted to help you all to prevent a painful 8 weeks in this classroom. So first and foremost, the very first tip that I want to give each student, read and understand all announcements. If you have not read all announcements, please stop what you're doing, go back into our class shell, click on the Announcements tab, click on the All tab, and vital information is in each of the announcements. If you're not used to looking at your announcement section in any other class, that will not work in this classroom. You absolutely must follow and read all assignments in this class. There's a lot of information that I pass on in this particular class. I'll just click in 2 announcements briefly to show you how helpful this class, the announcement section is. So let's click into week 2 announcement. And this was listed on April 18th, which was the beginning of week 2. Notice in week 2, I am letting you know when I will be finishing week 1 homework assignments, and I also give you a tidbit of information regarding data to use for our Mod 2 DQ1 discussion question. I give you data in which you can perform your histogram on, okay? As well as I give you some YouTube information about creating histograms, how to do the mean, median, and mode and standard deviation, how to do the 5-number summary. So notice coming into week 2, I'm giving you quite a bit of helpful information. If you are not used to reading the announcements, you would have missed all of this information, and therefore you would be struggling trying to figure out where to find this sort of information. So again, you must read and understand all announcements. You want to, again, click on announcements, click in the All tab. As you progress in each week, as you'll notice, if I just click on announcement in the current, you will have the 3 current announcements. What you want to make sure you do is to click the All tab shown at the top of the screen, and you will see all announcements. Okay? Please, please, please read and understand all of your announcements. Bullet number 2, where to locate guidebooks and Excel files. Okay, so first and foremost, your guidebooks, starting in week 3 of this class, I will begin in the announcement section telling you what might be some helpful guidebooks to use in any given week. Guidebooks are Excel spreadsheets that have populated formulas in them for the more complex formulas that we'll use in Excel. They have pre-populated formulas, and students will just need to fill in the given and interpret the results. Okay? The Excel files, as you probably know by now, as you will read through our homework requirement sections in the ebook, you will notice that some of the problems require additional Excel files notated by a rectangular blue box with a file name in it. These are Excel files. Where do we locate the Excel guidebooks and Excel files? Okay, so if we were up on our announcements, there's an announcement listed here that says Excel files and Excel guidebooks for this class, right? So if you read the announcement, it says the location is Media Pearson. Here's the URL. So if you click on that URL, that URL will bring you to this particular page. It will bring you to MyStat Labs Business Statistics, a first course. Notice this is the 7th edition. We are now in the 7th edition textbook. What is applicable for students is 2 sections, the Excel data files, the Excel guide workbooks. These are the two that you actually want. From time to time, I get emails and communication from students saying, I can't open this URL or I can't open these files. I will suggest several things before going to tech support. Number one, if you can't open these files on your particular laptop or PC, I would say take a hard drive or an external drive and try to open it from a different laptop or personal computer. If that doesn't work, I would suggest using a different web browser, Internet Explorer 10 or Google Chrome or Firefox. Try a different web explorer, okay? Finally, I would say open a ticket with tech support if neither of these things work. I am not a technical guru. I cannot help you fix your laptop or PC issues. So those are some suggestions that I would have. And when you go in and open these web links, I suggest downloading these zip files so that you don't have to go online each time that you need them. So the second bullet point is where to locate the guidebooks and Excel files. The third bullet, one of the most important points in this classroom is how to show your work properly in Excel. If you don't learn anything else in this classroom, please zero in and listen at this point attentively. How to show your work in Excel. Okay. I want to now bring you to another announcement in the classroom. Let's click on the announcement. Early in the class, during the first week, I listed an announcement that says how to submit your homework assignments. And I posted 2 attachments. Well, unfortunately, those 2 attachments did not take. A couple of students brought it to my attention. I reposted a similar announcement in the classroom, how to show your work. Okay. If you click on how to show your work, there are 2 attachments, show your work and show your work.2. So let's go to one of the particular attachments. The very first attachment says, let's say problem 3.3 says, compute the mean, median, and mode. Part B says compute the range, variance, standard deviation. C says compute the Z-scores, any outliers, et cetera, et cetera. So the given in this particular problem is the 6 or 7 data numbers that are listed. And I'm, for the sake of you guys following me, I'm just going to highlight that in a yellow color. The given section has been highlighted in yellow. So now, notice to the left, it says correct way. See commands by double clicking in the orange cell. Okay, so part A asks for mean, median, and mode. So if I double click in the mean section, it shows the equal symbol, which starts all Excel commands, average, which is, if you read in your textbook or you researched online, is the Excel command for mean. And notice how there's an open parentheses and there is cell addresses, C14 colon to C20. All right. So let me start from scratch and let's figure out how we get to that point. Okay. So equal. We start typing in average. Average comes up on the screen. Notice we get number 1, comma, number 2. But from experience, if I click in the first cell, drag down to the last cell, that captures C14 to C20. I want to do a close parentheses and return. Notice how that number shows up. Okay, your answer then shows up. So you say, well, Professor, it doesn't look like no work is shown. The way I will know if there's work is shown is I will double click in your answer cell and the embedded formulas should show. Okay, now let's look at notice I said or. Here's another correct way. Correct way, use the descriptive statistics option in the data analysis tool pack and see the output below. Okay, So we've downloaded the descriptive statistics, or we've downloaded, the data analysis tool pack. So let's start fresh. Let's click in an empty cell. We want to go to insert, data. We want to go to the data tab. We want to go to the data analysis. We've known from our reading and studying that the descriptive statistic command will give us most of what we're searching for. How will you, the student, know that? You will know that by reading through the chapter 3, as well as at the end of chapter 3, there is a chapter guide, and the chapter guide will give you hints about the different commands and the data analysis tool packs that will help you in that particular chapter, which is chapter 3 in this particular instance. Again, so we want to move forward. We know that we go to the data tab, click on the data analysis tool pack, and we select the descriptive statistic, select OK. The input range. The input range is the data that we are using. So the data that we are using is, click on numbers, left click, hold, drag down, and you want to click either the down arrow or return, okay? We're grouping by columns. Now, since I've highlighted the title numbers, I want to say the label is in the first row. What is my output range? Click on the output range. Output range is merely where you want your output to show. So I want to click in this particular cell, click the down arrow, leave the next 2 bubbles blank because you designated where you want the output to come. You want to click on the summary statistic. The summary statistic is going to give you all your answers. Click OK, and notice I'm going to highlight in green what was the result of that particular command. All right? Now, when you do a data analysis output, do not change this output. Do not do anything to this output, okay? Notice how if I double click into here, there's nothing embedded in these answers. The reason I don't want you all to change this output is because professors have a way of knowing when this output comes from data analysis. If you don't change it, I can look at it and tell that it is an output from the data analysis tool pack. It does not have to have embedded formulas if it is part of a data analysis tool pack output. If you go in, let's say you decide to go in and beautify this output. Let's say you decide to go in and put lines on it and change it to a beautiful color, say a gray, bold out some of these numbers, come in and bold everything. You go in and change it in this method. I'm going to go in and double click through here and say, well, this is incorrect because there's nothing embedded. Because you have gone in and changed the output, this will become incorrect, okay? If you leave the output exactly as it is and specify, the only thing you want to do is specify your answer. So part A asks for mean, median, right, and mode. So I'm just going to go put A outside of the mean, median, and mode here. That's essentially all I'm going to do, to specify to the professor that my answer for mean is 6, median is 7, mode is 7. Okay, let's move over to the next problem, the incorrect way, right? So the student has said the mean in this particular problem is 12 plus 7 plus 4 plus 9 plus 0 plus 7 plus 3 divided by 7 equals 6. In theory, this math is correct. It is essentially correct. Theory does not work in this classroom. This class requires you to command Excel. That means by typing out the verbal commands, embedding that command in a file, or using the data analysis tool pack. A picture of the right math is incorrect. Typing out the right math is incorrect. Students, please do not fight against that. I've had students that fought me for 8 weeks at a time and failed this class you absolutely must command Excel to find your answers in this particular classroom. You cannot pass this class if you know the correct math, but cannot command Excel to do the correct math. You absolutely cannot pass this class. To give you another simple example, the cost in cents is given. We are compute the first quartile, third quartile, and interquartile range. Part B says list the 5-number summary. In theory, I'm just going to show you the minimum. Here is, if you double click in it, the quartile function, which you will learn by reading your textbook, searching online, or looking in the back of your chapter for Excel commands. Right? Again, please, students, you must show your work in this particular classroom. Okay? I just wanted to show a brief highlight of showing your work in this particular class. Fourth, next to the last bullet, is the roadmap for passing this class. Okay, what does that mean? Number one, I've been teaching in the online environment for almost 8 years. I have a master's degree that I've earned online. I am currently working on my doctorate degree online. I want to say to students that this class is a difficult class. It is. This class combines two difficult principles, Excel and statistics. When I say difficult, I mean in the presence that it is usually new. Excel, as well as statistics, is a difficult principle in itself. You combine two difficult principles together in one class, and it makes for an explosive mix. Difficult does not mean impossible. I say to you difficult in order to raise your awareness of what's required. Okay, I don't intend to scare anyone. Okay, so what I want to say is late work. Students, if you can avoid being late for medical procedures, if you are, you have children that I know that life happens. Let me back up. I know that there are times when life will supersede our classwork. I understand that. What I would say to students is a consistent mix of late work in this class does not work. You cannot pass this class if you are consistently late. I just want to say that. In the event that you are late, you have a medical emergency, a child gets ill, you have a work situation, reach out to me, the professor, before your deadline. If you reach out to me the day of your deadline or after your deadline, you ask for an extension, I have to be honest, I'm going to deny it, because we are professionals, we are in higher education. We all are required to be responsible. In the event that you have a situation that's going to require you to be late, reach out to the professor early. I also want to say for late work, you have a vacation scheduled, or you have family coming to town, or you're working overtime hours at work. While I understand it, those are not valid reasons to extend and to get an extension. Okay, please be mindful of that. The next roadmap that I want to say: start early in the week. I'm working on my doctorate degree. I know and understand the tendencies of students to want to wait until the weekend to start working. That formula does not work for this class. Start working as early in the week as possible, reading, working on your homework assignment problems as you come to them. Okay? Send out questions to me as you come to the problems where you have issues. Don't spend multiple days scratching your head trying to work through a particular problem. Reach out to me. Tell me what you understand about a particular homework problem, what you are able to do, what you're not able to do. Don't send me a question that says, I can't do 3.3. Tell me what you understand specifically. Tell me what you're able to do. Tell me what you cannot do. Okay? Get a tutor, right? If this is stressing you out early on in weeks 1 and week 2, sign up for a tutor now. Okay? The fourth and final roadmap portion to this Research on your own. Go out on YouTube, Google how to do a certain function, right? Go out and research on your own. Google, how should I do the mean in Excel? How do I do the median in Excel? Google these things, right? YouTube them. Look for other resources. Don't think of the textbook as your only resource. In fact, I happen to think that the textbook could do a better job of giving you step-by-step information. The fact of the matter is, it does not. Don't get stuck on that. But move forward and do some of your own research. Okay? Don't try to memorize these steps. Again, there is an announcement that I've placed in our classroom, and I want to click in that announcement and to show you some helpful information. It says class roadmap for success. These things that I've just spoken of is listed in the roadmap for success. Okay? Finally, chapter guide at the end of every chapter. At the end of every chapter, I want to click on our textbook. This is the chapter 5 Excel guide. Notice at the end of every chapter, you will see tips and clues as to how to use in-depth Excel. Right here it says use a discrete variable workbook. It points out workbooks. If you continue to read, it will give you particular commands. Use the binom.dist Excel command. Notice how it gives you Excel commands for this particular chapter. Also, it will give you the data analysis command to use as well. And I'm going to, as I'm scrolling here, I want to scroll back up. And you just want to find a section that says in-depth Excel or the data analysis tool pack portion. In-depth Excel, key techniques, pH stat, in-depth Excel, sorry. So, long story short, I just wanted to show you that if you're reading through your Excel guide at the end of the chapter, there's some helpful information about command and how to use the data analysis tool pack. Okay, so those are just some information that I wanted to pass on. I hope these things help each of you. And again, please feel forward to reach out to me if you need be. But I feel as though there's a lot of information in this particular class shell. Use the announcements for help, and I look forward to a better class from weeks 3 and through weeks 8. Thank you, and you guys have a great class.